I have been using Word since, well, it was Word version 2. Actually, I was honored to use the very first version of Microsoft Word. It came out for DOS back in 1985, I think. And yeah, it was a DOS program back then, very slow, very awkward. And they had it at the publishing house I was working at. I got a chance to play with it and look at it. I could type faster than Word could input. There's only been one major change in Word. Word was pretty much the same, Word for Windows, not the DOS version, but Word for Windows was pretty much the same from, say, Word 6 all the way up to Word 2003. It was the same same program, not operating system. So Word changed radically with 2007 version when they had the ribbon interface. Made things a little bit more difficult to use for people who are familiar with it. I think it's easier in the long run, so once people get used to finding the new commands, they can use them. But that was a big change. Word 2010 was a little bit more of a subtle change, and Word 2013 is more of a change toward the tablet, cell phone type of operations, because you can touch the screen to use Word now. It has special commands for doing that. Always having the current version of any software is better because software does expire. So at some point in the future, the version of Word that you used to use is no longer going to be supported, probably in some great way, maybe in some subtle way. So to keep current with the software is something that you should do. I still actually write on my writing computer. I still have Word 2007. But Word 2013 is probably going to be the next one I upgrade to because it's the next version of Word. It's a nice version of Word, does some things really great, so I'll be switching to that soon. I try to make each book new and unique. I don't actually just take the book and say, oh yeah, I did a couple of cosmetic changes here and there. I look at it really hard and see what is it people are using. I put my email address in every book, so I get feedback. And if people have a question, they can say, hey, this works, this doesn't work, why don't you cover this, you should cover that. And then I make those changes to the books. So I'm always thinking about what people do with Word. The chapter on tabs, which is really funny because originally there was this one chapter on paragraph formatting and tabs was like a section. And I thought, you know, people are having an issue with this. So I made tabs its own chapter because people want to know how to format with tabs. I mean, it's something that they do. It's actually very handy. If someone's hitting the space bar more than twice, they really need a tab. And it still surprises me to this day how many people format their documents with spaces. And they space over. You can tell because things don't line up. It's all jaggy. So I have a whole chapter on tabs, and I rewrote it this time from the ground up because I wanted to explain how tabs really work. The key to that is knowing that there's a difference between a tab, which is the key you press on the keyboard, and the tab stop, which is actually what formats the document. And so by making that difference known in the chapter, I think I finally cleaned it up and described tabs for the first time in 20 years in my book on how it really works. But that's what I get from reader feedback and from basically looking at the book every time I write it and saying, well, what can I do that makes this better? What can I concentrate on that people really need to know about?